Okay guys, here's the whiteboard brief for Thursday, April 2nd. Our strength today will be 3 rounds of renegade row, negative push-ups, and floor press, so all upper body today for strength. Our Metcon is an EMOM 16, so every minute on the minute for 16 minutes. We'll work through these 4 different movements. Each minute you are working for 40 seconds, resting for 20. Minute 1 is single arm push press on the right. Minute 2 is Russian kettlebell swings on the right. Minute 3 is single arm push press on the left. And minute 4 is Russian kettlebell swings on the left. Extra credit today is core, and that's going to be a Tabata plank hold on your elbow or hands. Okay guys, our strength today is renegade row, negative push-ups, and floor press. Okay, so this will be another superset movement. We're going to do 3 rounds of everything. So Ashley's going to demonstrate the renegade row first. This is a great core and shoulder strength movement. So she's going to start in her good plank position here. So you can see that her pelvis is slightly tucked. She's really driving up to the shoulders here, and her hands are underneath her shoulders. From here, she's going to pull the dumbbell up to the hip without twisting her hip open. Go ahead and show me a few good reps. Good, so she's keeping her hip square to the ground as she pulls up to her hip. Okay, rest for a second. Now she's going to show us some bad reps. So this is what we see in the gym when you guys start to get fatigued or you've gone way too heavy on the weight. So she's twisting open with her hip. She's letting her butt come up way too high. This would probably be because she's either super tired or picked a weight that is too heavy for her. Now for today, we're going as heavy as possible on these, but keep in mind, we never want you to sacrifice form, so as heavy as possible with perfect form on these. If you guys just have one object that you're working with on this, you can knock out 5 reps on one side with your dumbbell, kettlebell, laundry detergent bottle, and then switch to the other side and knock out 5 on that side. Okay, so you don't have to have 2 objects for this today. After she completes 1 round of renegade row, she's going to move on to her negative push-ups. So with negative push-ups, that means we have added a tempo to this today. The tempo for push-ups today is going to be 3 seconds down, 1 second hold at the bottom, 1 second to come up, 1 second hold at the top. You guys have 8 reps of these. So Ashley's going to show us a good one first. She's going to start in her nice push-up position. Shoulders are over her hands. She's got a slight tuck in the pelvis. Core is nice and tight. She's going to take 3 seconds to go down. She's going to make sure her chest touches the ground. She's going to hold for 1, come up, hold for another 1, then another 3 seconds down. Okay, so notice that her elbows are going back instead of winging out. So before she started, she screwed her hands into the ground to create that tension. Okay guys, if you need to do a scaled version of this, of course you can go on your knees, still keeping everything under tension. Her hips are down instead of being up and having a huge angle there, okay? She's still gonna take 3 seconds down, hold for 1 at the bottom, and then come up and hold, okay? So when you are holding for that 1 second at the bottom, you're not relaxing or sinking into this. You're still staying under tension, okay? So hands are still engaged, core and pelvis are still nice and tight, okay? You guys can also do these to an elevated surface. So if this needs to be done on a counter, a bench, the side of your couch, whatever will work for you, okay? So we'll do 8 reps there. Then we're gonna go on to our last movement, which is floor press. Okay, and once again, if you only have one object you're working on or working with, you can do one side at a time. Okay, so Ashley's starting laying on the ground. Her legs can be straight out or feet touching the ground. It's really what makes your lower back feel the most stable. Okay, so from here, she starts with her elbows down on the ground at least a 45-degree angle, and she's punching straight up. Okay, so this is neutral grip today, meaning that she's not forcing her hands to pronate or anything like that. She's just pushing straight up and down. Okay, you have 10 reps there. With this, you can, if you're working with multiple weights, this doesn't have to be as heavy as possible. You can increase weight each round or just work with the equipment that you have. So like I said, this will be a superset. You're gonna go through 3 rounds. You'll do 1 round of renegade row, 1 round of negative push-ups, 1 round of floor press, then back to the top and do it all again for 2 more rounds, resting as needed between this. Okay guys, today's Metcon is a circuit Metcon. We have 4 rounds that we're gonna go through. It's gonna be 16 minutes total, and you have 4 different movements, okay? So each minute we are working for 40 seconds and resting for 20. Minute 1 is going to be a single arm push press on the right. You'll do that for 40 seconds, rest for 20. Minute 2 is single arm Russian kettlebell swing on the right. You'll do that for 40, rest for 20. Minute 3 is moving to the other side, so single arm push press on the left. And then minute 4 is single arm Russian kettlebell swing on the left. Like I said, we're gonna do that for 16 minutes total. Each minute you're switching movements, okay? So Ashley's gonna demonstrate the single arm push press on her right side to start, okay? So grabbing your dumbbell, kettlebell, your odd object, she's gonna create tension on the other side of her body, because although we're not using this, we want the whole body to stay under tension. That's gonna put us in the safest, most efficient position. Okay, so her right arm is gonna start in that front rack position. She's gonna do a vertical dip, meaning that she's not gonna let her chest fall forward as she dips. She has a vertical torso here. Her knees are driving out and down, and her feet should feel like they're screwed into the ground. Okay, so she does her dip and she punches up, landing with her arm next to her ear. So show us a few reps like at real time. Dip and punch, dip and punch, dip and punch, okay? With your single arm push press, don't push out to the front or let the arm hang out to the side, okay? That puts your shoulder in a bad position, so make sure you're really driving up and keeping the arm by the ear, okay? She'll do that for 40 seconds, rest for 20, and then she's going to go to single arm Russian kettlebell swing. You can do this with a kettlebell, an odd object, or your dumbbell if that's all you have to work with, okay? So she's gonna pick up her object, once again creating tension in the other side of her body, and just like we would do a normal Russian kettlebell swing, she's gonna get that momentum started by letting the kettlebell come in between her legs, okay? All of the power is coming from the hip, and she's fighting not to let that kettlebell make her rotate so much, okay? So that's why we create tension in the other side. With this, remember to grip the ground with your feet to have that stable base. She'll do that for 40 seconds, rest for 20. Then she's gonna go to single arm push press on the left. Same cues as before, that vertical dip, big drive up. She'll do that for 40 seconds. Then she goes to single arm Russian kettlebell swings on the left. Okay guys, like I said, you have 4 rounds of those 4 movements, so it's 16 minutes total. Your score for that would be reps, okay? So just keeping one continuous count throughout the Metcon. Okay guys, you have a plank Tabata for your extra credit. Remember that Tabata is 4 minutes long. It's 8 working sets of 20 seconds, resting 10 seconds in between. Hey guys, our extra credit for today is a Tabata of plank holds. So we have 2 different versions of plank that we can do today. The first version is going to be plank on your hands. So Ashley's gonna show us a good rep here. Her shoulders are stacked over her hands. She's really driving up through the ground, punching her shoulder blades up, and she has that slight pelvic kind of tuck here, so she's squeezing everything in the middle, okay? You'll hold that for 20 seconds, rest for 10. She's gonna show us a bad version of a hand plank, okay? She gets up here, her butt's way too high, her shoulders are far back from her hands. Now she's gonna show us one where her hips sink down. That is a ton of pressure on your lower back. You don't wanna get into this position. If you feel like you have to get into this position to do it, just rest, or you can bring your hips up temporarily to rest. Okay, another option is gonna be on your elbows. Okay, so once again, her elbows are underneath her shoulders. She's pushing up through her shoulder blades here. She has that slight tuck. Her core is nice and tight, and she's thinking of kind of drawing everything to the center, okay? So we want the center underneath here to be her focal point. She's kind of pulling her hips in and driving her elbows back. Plank holds are another movement that you can either get a lot, you can rest a lot from them, or a little. So make sure you're being mindful of this, really thinking about engaging on the muscles and drawing everything in as you hold.